Good morning. It is 11:50 and I'm thinking about something that I said yesterday. As I go through my day to day, am I expressly seeking out suffering with the sole intention of overcoming it, that I would be a stronger, more resilient, more powerful version of myself? Do I seek out suffering for that purpose? How do I? I realize that this entire David Goggins, make your life more painful, push through the suffering, I realize that gets a bad rap. And I realize a lot of people don't resonate with that. I think there's something there. I think he's onto something. And that idea isn't unique with him. It's a concept that's been around for, I suppose it's a part of Stoicism. But I think, Stoicism is just the succinctly verbalized, encapsulated thoughts of practices that have been going on way before it was ever verbalized and labeled. How does a person seek out and do things that they do not want to do for an outcome that they want? Actions that you don't want for an outcome that you do want. The outcome that you do want is being not pathetic. I'm not sure, but especially the more I think about it, I have a lot of disdain for weakness when I look at others as them being weak, and I think negatively about them. That's probably originating from a place of self-loathing for my own weakness. And this is getting way too heady, but it's just my thoughts. Yeah, going back to, how does a person go about seeking out things that they do not want to do to achieve things that they want? And I think that starts with, do you let your desires control you, or do you control your desires? Am I subject to the impulses and desires of my own human nature and mind? Or do I structure my life in such a way that as those desires and impulses come about, they always propel me forward into the direction that I have foreseen in my mind and set forth as being the goal? And this is just to add on, I think that you can continually overcome your weaker self. You can continually master those impulses. I don't think you get rid of them, though. And I say this because this way, even in the moments where you do screw up and fall prey to the impulses of your weak self, if you have structured your life in the correct way, that will still push you forward towards the things that you want to achieve. It's a backup plan for your plan A. For example, I realize this is a way to... This is probably explaining something that could be explained more simply in a way that's more complex. And I think that's probably just because I don't understand it very well. Because usually when people understand something very well, they're able, even if it's a complex idea, they're able to state it in a simple way. And I think the fact that I'm not able to state it in a way that has been simple just goes to show how little I know. But the practical version of this would be quote, structuring your life, saying, hey, take TV, take whatever social media, take whatever distractions that are, quote, dopamine hits. Dopamine doesn't work like that. But in your life, take them out so that every time you have the desire to gratify your weaker self, the parts that wants to be validated by feeling whatever pleasure in life, then you structure your life that the only things accessible to you to derive pleasure from are ultimately pushing you forward towards whatever goals you may have. And what that really means is just cutting out things that distract you or waste your time or hold you back. That's really all I'm saying. I'm talking about like how does a person practically implement all that heady stuff this morning. I'm not bringing my phone with me downstairs. Now, is that really that big of a deal? Is there plenty of times where I don't have my phone with me? Yeah, sure. But this morning I thought, you know what? My phone is a distraction. Maybe I should leave it upstairs. And in my mind, I thought, yeah, but I don't want to do that. So, normally the automatic thought process is, I don't want to, therefore I should not. But really what I need to be thinking is, I do not want to, therefore I should. And that's the switch that I need to make. And when I say do what you don't want to do, don't do what you want to do the things you hate. If you don't want to do something, do it. In saying that, I'm not insinuating that I need to extinguish all pleasure from my life. I'm just saying that I want my conscious mind to override my subconscious mind in defining what is pleasurable. And what I want to consciously choose every day to find pleasurable is the execution of my weaker self. Every day I want to murder, I want to execute another shred of my weaker self until I fully exterminate it. And you can't fully exterminate it, right? There's always going to be that weaker self trying to rise up within you. But it's a continual battle, it's a continual process. And tomorrow, I want to be winning that battle to a greater degree than I was winning that battle today. I want more of my weaker self to have been murdered tomorrow than was today. And I know that the only way that I will continue to murder my weaker self is if I define murdering my weaker self as the most pleasurable thing that I can do. If I truly tell myself that that's the most pleasurable thing that I could ever possibly do is murdering my weaker self, then I know I'll do it. Because humans are just fleshy bodies seeking pleasure. I want to win. I want the stronger Caleb to win. Again, going back to the vision of the man I want to be, I want that man within me to conquer, overwhelm, destroy, then murder and execute the weaker version of myself. Because the two can't coexist. Only one can survive. Anytime that your stronger self overcomes and beats your weaker self, I need to tell myself, I won. I won. I beat him. Because your belief that you can win, proven by the fact that you just did win, and your desire to continue to win will push you forward in doing what you need to do. It's now 4:28 p.m. That's hard to believe. I got a little bit of something to eat, had some chicken or whatever, after I took a break from editing, and then I went upstairs, talked to Mom on the phone for a bit, came down here, transferred more files, edited a little bit more, and then I've decided that probably it's a good idea if I take a shower. That'll kind of make me more productive. I'm trying to decide whether I want to go to Lincoln and film for Adam and Arslan, whether that's a good usage of time or not. I told them that I couldn't film yesterday, which was good because I ended up getting off of work later than I was thinking, but Arslan has work tomorrow, so I don't know, I may try to help them film today. Okay, this is what I'm working on at the moment. I noticed actually, so the RV had been plugged in yesterday when I was power washing, and then it had rained a little bit since then and had still stayed plugged in. And I came in and tried to turn this light on, and the light wouldn't turn on. I went outside actually and thought, okay, I should start working on this. Before I do that, I should probably unplug it, right? When I went to unplug it, there was this crackling sound at the area where the RV cord was plugged into the cord that's going out to the garage there. I thought, okay, this probably isn't the way to end it. Anyway, so I was trying to carefully unplug that. Then I come up here, I hear when you do this switch, there's a little bit of rattling of metal parts in there, so I figured, okay, the switch is broken. Never done this or anything like this before, really, but I opened it up, and there's these interesting little bulbs that you have to push in, then turn to be able to screw out anyway. And there's some small metal particles in there. So I have no idea what I'm doing or if I will be able to fix it, but there's metal shavings from whatever the broken parts of the switch, and I'm wondering if it was due to the electrical storm or just not random, but just with time and usage, because I don't know, we've been back for whatever 2 or 3 weeks and still hadn't noticed it yet, so I'm not sure what the issue is. I'm gonna get a container to dump those metal parts into and then try to assess to see if there's a part online that a person could buy off of Amazon to fix the switch, or what a person needs to do exactly. Okay, dude. Sure, fine. Whatever, I guess I'll just be able to say it better this time because I now actually have my words thought out. I've been basically watching a lot of dropshipping videos, Shopify videos, specifically actually learning how to run ads on TikTok. And bro, I've been watching Biahez's old videos as well as this guy, Hayden Bowles. Thank goodness there's not anal bowel sludge coming out of it, whatever I'm trying to say there. The video is very good, informational. What I will say is I was watching one, who was it? I was watching one Iman Gadzhi video earlier today. And bro, I mean, I'm sure his course is really great. I'm sure his agency course is just so value-packed and will make you so much money. And I think that is probably way more valuable, putting money into one of his courses, or plenty of other qualified individuals out there who have actually done what they're teaching, as opposed to many of these college professors who ended up becoming professor for whatever because they failed at what they were actually trying to do, or they weren't that good at it, or it was their fallback, or they figured out they didn't like it, so they tried teaching, whatever. I'm not saying that it's bad, but it puts such a bad taste in my mouth because the entire financial sector, whether it be videos about making money, business, etc., is so riddled and laden with, just buy my course. Just buy it! Just buy it! Do you want money? Do you want money? Just buy the course. Please. It just puts a bad taste in your mouth, to the point that if I even just see someone advertising a course, aside from, I feel like the 2 people who do courses best, 3 people who do courses best, Meet Kevin really markets his course a lot, and I have bought, not all of them, many of them. Very good, super thorough, ridiculous amount of value, and he is pushing the line of like too much marketing where it's annoying, right? He didn't used to push that line before. He is pushing that line now, but he still hasn't gone over so much that like it's unbearable to watch the channel. I think that Biahez has done a great job with his marketing, and he actually probably does a poor job with his marketing, because the reality is I don't think that he's marketing it enough. I think that Graham Stephan, he has done a great job marketing also. He doesn't really market it enough. I think that from the standpoint of the course creator, he could be bringing in way more money. He has a massive audience. It's a high value product for his audience that's probably just as good, if not better, of an investment for his audience than whatever else he is marketing or advertising. FTX. Are you gonna, maybe his viewers will make millions with FTX, but it's like, probably his course is going to bring, quote, greater value to the lives of his audience members. Nevertheless, he doesn't do a great job marketing it from it, but at least his marketing isn't annoying. Iman Gadzhi, literally every dude, I like the guy, I think he's intelligent, I think he's smart. Every video he makes is redirecting to a video he made at some point in 2022, and then the way he gets you to click on that video is talking about the fact that it's just a video, it doesn't take you off to another website. Just watch the video explaining what the best way to make X amount of money is, because again, the FFA line that Sebastian Ngannou kind of popularized recently. And, saying like, how do you make high enough of an income to be able to actually start investing? And his entire video is breaking down like, what is the best business model for online? And then, of course, he says it's building an agency, and he's going to teach you how to build an agency. And you go like 6 minutes into it before you can start seeing like very tried and true ClickFunnels strategies being implemented in this video, which, to someone who hasn't seen that before, it's like, okay, cool. So when you know it so clearly, it's annoying. And then also the fact that every video is redirecting to that video, saying that it's just that video, and then you realize that video is trying. I'm just saying, it's not bad. I'm happy for him. Think he's making money. I'm sure he's making money, and probably what he is doing is better than what I would have him do, because he's making more money at the end of the day. This channel, he should be making money off of it. But it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Kind of rubs me the wrong way. It's just a little too much, Like, I don't, as a salesperson, I don't want you so visibly emotionally invested in my purchase of the product, because then it's harder for me to entrust your intentions. Anyway, whatever. The other thing I was going to say, the actual reason that I brought up the video, I'm watching these e-com videos, right? I'm basically watching videos on how to run TikTok ads as well as build a Shopify store, but mostly I'm looking at the TikTok ads part. I'm thinking like, okay, should I create a TikTok ads agency? And I realize I have in my mind already that the reality is, how to get into that space, I need to go to the hotel, I need to take pictures of the hotel, I need to show Bob the pictures of the hotel, the video of the hotel, and then say, hey, can I sell this to you guys? Will you buy this? So you can update the photos on the listing of the booking.com and the website. And then once I go from there, I can say, and listen, hey, the website isn't really up to par. The reality is that when people try to check out on there and they think they've actually booked, and then they get a message saying you will be contacted over email as to whether these rooms are available or not, because it's just a job form, which is essentially like its email application form, and people think they're booking a room when they start the process, but then realize it's just sending a notification email to the hotel, which workers then have to respond to and notify them whether the room is ready or not, and then they have to call back on the phone with their credit card number. And it's just not a good customer experience, and I think you would have a really good ROI on having a better website, and then once that website is implemented, having an ad strategy for that website. And then I also know for the other businesses he's talking about the fact that, like the warehouse surplus store, right? So it's essentially food items that the outer packaging from like the larger shipping containers has been damaged at some point during transit. It is no longer able to meet the standards that the company has for what can and cannot be sold, so therefore they sell it off at a lower than market rate to whoever, in the situation being Bob. He resells them at a heavily discounted rate, mostly heavily discounted only for refrigerator and freezer items that are more so perishable, non-perishable items, not that great of a discounted rate on them, as well as fresh fruits and vegetables and the like. And many people who do happen to buy groceries are not in the mentality of thinking, oh, if I go to warehouse surplus, I can get food. In fact, oftentimes get food from more expensive places like Amazon Kitchen or Whole Foods, get higher grade quality food and be saving money, like a considerable amount of money on your grocery bills, be saving 80% per month on your grocery bills. But people aren't in that mindset, and it takes a mentality shift for these people saying, oh, I'm not going to go to Sunmart, or like, actually these foods are cheaper than going into LinkedIn to Walmart. But that requires a mentality shift for people to actually go start shopping there and say, this is where I'm going to get my perishable groceries because I can save so much money. And he was bringing up that fact in less words, and I'm sure in a much more clearly communicated and concise way. And I said, okay, well, what does it require to have that shift? How do you make warehouse surplus more profitable by creating that mentality shift in the community? And he said, marketing, ads, something I don't have time for. That's literally what he said. And it's like God, like the hand of God is coming out from heaven and slapping me in the face. Like, Caleb, you've already had this idea in your mind, do not see the opportunity here. And whatever, I haven't done anything with it. How stupid you need to be for God to slap you and you'd be like, yeah, I'll get to it. Bro, that's literally part of the path and journey that I need to go down to get to the next level. That, creating the Airbnbs, possibly doing drop shipping, doing the RV rental, which is like the Airbnb stuff, and then side project, we'll see if it works out, canoe rentals. But that's gonna funnel everything into this really big investment opportunity. And now I'm gonna say what it is, because all the time when I watch videos, people say this big opportunity, and they never say what it is. And it's like, whoa, what is this big opportunity you're trying to build that cash for? By the time they do the opportunity, the time is come and gone, they don't talk about it, whatever. It's a real estate opportunity that I have unique access for. Like, literally, it's on so many things in my life are so good, and they are so good to a degree that it's just unfair, okay? And now, that is partially objective fact. It's not like I have the best life, right? But I choose to believe that. I choose to think that way. I choose to believe I have more privilege than anyone ever. And from like a childhood raising standpoint, I literally haven't met any better people. But more importantly, any better specifically parents than my parents. Never. Ever, ever, ever. Literally, the fact that other people are allowed to have children and the government, I was going to say, the government can't take them away, and here I am, the guy who's like the most government. Do not interfere, right? But no, I can't believe that the laws of physics allow just people to have kids. And like 99.999% of people that I've seen with kids, I'm like, those people should not have kids. And then the ones that are like, they can have kids, they're not even anywhere close to being as good as my parents. Not close. Okay? Not close. Anyway, whatever. I was literally going to say one thing and I still haven't gotten to it. The point being, one of the strategies he's saying, this guy, a lot of value. He is trying to sell a course, but the date at which the videos I'm watching, he hasn't developed his course yet, and he's giving away good value in his videos. Oftentimes the value that people are giving away in their videos is diminished when they're trying to sell a course because they're trying to make their courses be perceived as higher value. Because if you're giving away all the sauce in just the YouTube videos, people aren't incentivized to buy the course. I would actually argue the opposite. The more value you give away in your videos, in the mind of the viewer, it's like, whoa, I'm able to see the breadth of your knowledge and expertise, and you're telling me that there's more? I think that's a way better way to sell your courses. Like, Meet Kevin literally puts his YouTube videos are what other people release as their courses, okay? That he just puts out for free on YouTube. And so I went into it being like, there's no way that there's more specificity and value that's presented in the course, and then boom, there is, okay? Literally just years and years and years of experience, and then drawing upon the experiences of other people that are even more qualified than him, and then repackaging that, and he's a very good oral communicator, repackaging that in a very succinct, clear, easy to understand package. Bruh, it sounds like I'm just shilling for his course. It's way expensive. Like, everything is way... You can find a lot of that information for free. Specifically for the YouTube course. If
you know absolutely nothing about cameras, if you know absolutely nothing about the YouTube algorithm, if you know absolutely nothing about filmmaking, videography, editing in general, yes, super valuable, especially for beginners, even some good stuff for more seasoned individuals. But if you've got kind of the camera down, if you've got what you want to do down, if you have the videography, video editing basics down, literally just go and watch every single Mr. Beast podcast, okay? Go into YouTube, type in Mr. Beast podcast, then go to the filters and select everything that is over 20 minutes, okay? Just watch every single Mr. Beast podcast. That'll essentially just teach you everything that you need to know concerning how to make good YouTube videos in the YouTube algorithm. Then go and make 50 videos. Make 50 YouTube videos and make sure that every single one is better than the last one. And if you still haven't really gone anywhere, then go back and watch all the podcasts again and actually do what they're telling you to do. And listen, if that doesn't help you, you're screwed. I'm sorry, okay? No, I'm kidding. But when we come to talking about, like, not the videography, not filmmaking, not editing side, but when we talk about just purely, like, creative vision, YouTube creation, and YouTube algorithm side of things, as well as how do you scale a team to create YouTube content, really, the Mr. Beast podcast, you're not going to get anything that's really that much more insightful than what those podcasts have to say.
What I will say is the personal, like, productivity and head stuff, I haven't seen anywhere else. Like the real estate, the house hacking, the buying wedge deals, like the real estate renovation course, it was all very good, communicated in a way that's probably way better than 98% of other YouTube videos, but it's out there, right? But a lot of the personal productivity mindset when entering business relationships, how to interact with potential business partners, clients, the philosophy that you want to use when going into any type of business interaction is just, I haven't really seen much of that stuff other places. It's not like the secret, like no one could ever think of it themselves. But it's very good. Where am I going with that, bro? Okay, oh my goodness. I really must like talking. I get sidetracked. It's gonna kill me editing this. Hayden Bowles, okay? Sorry, I keep wanting to make bowel movement jokes. Basically saying one of the best strategies to figure out what types of ads you should be running, what types of ads are going to be effective is, and this is specifically for TikTok because I think that there's a lot of opportunity there, so I'm looking at TikTok. He said, listen, bruh, go through the platform, find ads, and watch them. Are the ads good? Copy them. And not, obviously. I mean, even directly copy them. Like, there's a couple of things that I've seen in here. Maybe I'm going to directly rip off and copy just to test out the store. And so just scroll, he's saying scroll through any ones that are e-com, dropshipping related, or products that you think like, yeah, this is a physical product that could be dropshipped. Click on the ad. It's going to cause you to have your interest in specifically e-commerce type things or novelty products to be increased, or it's going to put you in the category of having interest in those areas. And then you'll get more and more drop shipping type items ads. You can get product ideas as well as see how they build their ads and what successful ads look like. And so I'm scrolling through, right? I'm scrolling through TikTok. I've had Instagram, TikTok, YouTube deleted for however many weeks. No, it's not even been however many weeks. It's maybe been a week and a half, maybe. Okay, which I am watching videos as they're applicable to me, and maybe even more than I need to. Like probably some of the Sebastian Giorgio and the Iman Gazzi videos like are more heady and it's like more hype stuff that aren't necessary. I get that. Nevertheless, my media consumption has declined drastically, okay? What I found is, despite the fact that I'm even occasionally looking up videos on YouTube, there's a couple days back where I watched even just some entertainment type videos just by opening it up in the browser on my phone, and typing it into YouTube, no sign in, no history, no algorithm. So the recommendations that I'm getting aren't near as spot on, accurate, and therefore tempting to click on as if I'm actually watching it on the app. Super massive hack. I've realized, like, so for the first couple of days, nothing, no media. And I've done this multiple times before, and then I'll like download the app and try to just do a certain amount, like a healthy amount of watching on YouTube, not watching an excessive amount of entertainment-based content, right? What I find is I just slip down the rabbit hole and then just get right back to where I was before, just consuming vast, unnecessary, unproductive quantities of content. Even if I watch entertainment-based videos on my internet browser, not on the YouTube app, on my phone, I don't slip into that rabbit hole because I don't have the YouTube algorithm knowing everything that I would ever possibly imagine that I would even want to watch. I don't have that all available at my fingertips. And I realize, of course, what is the YouTube algorithm's objective? That you would be as engrossed, addicted, and consumed, and again, those are all the negative words, to spend as much time as possible on the app, on their platform. More videos, more views, more ads, more dollars. So that is a massive realization for me that like I need to be, that the YouTube algorithm is so good, and specifically for me, it's so good. And I was even watching so much that I would run out of videos that I actually liked that the YouTube algorithm was recommending to me. Like, that's crazy. And it'd take a while for it to find something that I wanted again. Because, like, I was watching hours. And I think, like, I know now was hours. I think it's more than I think it was. That's a dumb thing to say, but it's true. I think it was more than I think it was. Whatever. Where am I going with this? Dude, I still haven't gotten to the point. So, I haven't been having different social media, etc. things on my phone for the past however many, week and a half, 10 days, 14 days, whatever it was. I'm scrolling through TikTok to get to those juicy ads. I've actually consumed social media for ads before, but that's an odd thing to say. So I'm scrolling through for the ads. I'm going, okay, scrolling. Oh, that looked interesting. Scroll by it. Keep scrolling. Oh, what's that? Keep scrolling. Oh, this video? And then I'm thinking, no, I need to scroll down to an ad. But a part of my brain is saying, no, but there's something there. You may miss something. There may be something interesting, something valuable, something you need to know. And if you scroll past it, maybe you won't find that again. Maybe you'll miss out. And I'm just realizing how powerful the dopamine centers in our brain are, right? Because like you get this amazing instant gratification scrolling through. It's like crack cocaine for your dopamine centers, right? But not only how powerful our dopamine centers are, but how powerful social media is in activating dopamine in our mind. And it was physically hard to scroll past these dumb, stupid, very interesting TikTok videos. Because it's, conspiracy theories are talking about fluctuations in oil prices because of this, and then it's one that's just funny, and then it's one that's teaching you something. And you think, oh, but I should know that. But guess what? I've lived all of today without knowing about any of these things that are on TikTok. If there's something that I need to know, I think I'll probably encounter it on my journey of research. And like when I have a task I'm trying to complete, yes, I realize there's a certain amount of general knowledge that's valuable, but it's just so much of it is unnecessary. And yeah, I just want to say this as a reminder to myself and on, the chance that however many years from now, when I'm in a very different place in life, it's amazing, like, there's no reason. There is reason, but like I think there's a certain amount of confidence that is built up in yourself by how you talk to yourself. And again, Alex Hormozi, the stories of yourself you tell yourself. And then also what your parents, what your circle, what your environment, what your circumstances has built into you as you've developed and progressed. But I just feel like I am so not unnecessarily, so confident for no good reason that my life is going to be exactly whatever I set my mind to it being. And I think a lot of that, and probably it's not as like innate as I'm thinking in this moment, probably a lot of that is from my parents. Always saying, you know, we believe in you, anything that you could possibly want to achieve, we know that you're smart enough, we know that you have whatever assets and skills and talents that you would need to be able to achieve that. So I think it's way more affected by them than I'm even like realizing or admitting in this moment. But yeah. Where am I? Dude, I get so sidetracked. And I apparently like to talk so much. Editing these videos is going to kill me, man. If someday in the future, when I'm in a very different position in life, someone happens to see this, I just want them to be aware of like what a massive effect media, especially social media, any form of entertainment, has on your brain. And like, we are strong, especially we're as strong as we tell ourselves, but we are specially designed and honed to adapt to our environment and overcome whatever is in our environment. But if you create your environment to just be entertainment, guess what you're going to be really good at? Being entertained and being consumed by this purposeless, valueless rabbit hole of constantly, yes, what do you have to show me? Instead of, what do I have to do? What is going to be brought to the lips of my mind to taste? You know? Yeah, okay. It's way too much, bro. Anyway, that's just a really powerful realization. And like, I'm wanting to open up TikTok right now. I saw something that were interesting. Like, can I go back and see that? Can I go back? And it's like, bro, we need to be I need to be so conscious. Like, I am the victor over everything in my environment and everything in my mind. And the way that you're the victor isn't always by putting yourself in difficult circumstances and triumphing over them, but you also need to know when to not put yourself in the way of temptation when you are not ready to face that temptation yet, when you have not built strength up enough. And so I'm going through here, and it's physically painful as I'm scrolling through, and I'm like, I wonder if this is just purpose. No, I think it's probably good. I'm like disassociating this dopamine stimuli with these videos when I'm scrolling past, and like actively using my willpower to scroll through. But yeah, just I need to be stronger than my weaker self. My stronger self needs to be stronger than my weaker self is weak. And I need to remember that I am the victor over everything and everyone in my path. There is not a chance that I can allow anything to stop me, and certainly not TikTok, okay? I was researching Shopify, drop shipping, etc. type stuff until about 12:22 or so, and then I realized how late it was and what time I was going to have to go to work in the morning, so I spent about the last hour. It's now 1:40. I spent about an hour trying to crank out the 622 Bill and Caleb, which I did, and it's now encoding. It's like 5 gigs, which is, a lot. And it's going to take forever to upload as well, probably, but I'm complaining that I have a nice camera that records at a high quality and that I have it's like, poor me, the footage is high quality, whatever. There's pluses and minuses to everything. Also, The encoding codec on Sony, I've heard many people state, is different, and the way that they process and compress the footage is different from Canon, so you on average end up with larger source files. I'm not sure if that would necessarily translate its way into, after it's been H.26 codec processed through Premiere. I would assume not, but I'm just gonna run the dishwasher because I don't want, yeah, I think I might have enough. I don't want the dishes to sit around for however many days and make the house smell bad. But I also kind of don't want to run the dishwasher when I don't need to and waste a whole bunch of water needlessly. Or not. The water is well water. Doesn't matter, but not wasted. Interestingly, in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, the real waste is electricity, and the reason electricity is a waste is money. But from Mom's perspective, you know, growing up a portion of her life in Arizona, like, water is a precious resource in and of itself, not just the financial aspect of it. So she just want to preserve water to preserve water. I would want to preserve water to preserve electricity because the well runs on that motor, so that a person can preserve money. But just goes to show how we all have different thought processes oftentimes to arrive at the same conclusion. And then sometimes we have the same conclusion and have different processes as to what action we should take. It's interesting how that works. No way. There is no way. It's literally been not 5 minutes, it's been maybe 20 minutes since I started exporting, and it's already exported 4.86 gigs. There must be something wrong. How in the world did it? The date is June. And it looks not bad. I had a really hard time rules and being put underneath the stuff. Now watch for it to go onto YouTube and get completely compressed into oblivion. Okay, well, I guess I was gonna go upstairs and go to bed, but I guess I'm gonna try to upload it now. Isn't there a thing where you bookmark all the... Doing this simply because I know that I had heard in the past, I believe it was from Colton Sprouse, which interestingly I saw him on my email list. No, I saw him on my phone in my contact list. And I saw that his picture had changed. And I thought of him. I often think of him when I see my phone, because obviously my phone is labeled Dripping Yellow Madness, which was what his phone was labeled as. And I just did that because I thought it was odd enough and creative enough that I asked him, why in the world would you name your phone that? So then I thought, okay, you know, enough time had passed where I felt it was original to me. Not that it needs to be original to me, that's a stupid thing to say. But yeah, so I did end up changing my phone to that. It's probably going to take almost the entire night with our internet, but okay, cool. I think that in many ways today has been very productive and positive. I think there is plenty that I learned with the camper, kind of realizing the direction that I need to go in to get the things done that I want to get done with the camper. And also I learned a good bit with Shopify and kind of getting a strategy and thinking about, okay, what is the scope of the opportunity with TikTok ads, and managed to finish editing this video. I think that there was definitely some things I could have done better. Primarily, I got a late start in the morning. Could have gotten up earlier, could have, once I woke up, gotten started with the day earlier, figured out whatever fluff was in there that I was wasting time. And then you know what it is? This is so cringe. I literally don't even want to say this out loud. But there was probably good... It's wild. It's wild, but I think this is true. It was probably a good hour where I would, you know, throughout the day, maybe I'm underplaying, where it's so cringe. Just going in the mirror and fiddling with acne. There is, I think, certain individuals, I'm not sure what psychological connection there is to like pick at things or whatever, but I can feel, actually, interestingly, after I used DXM for however long, after that point, I've developed a sense of like, this is going to be very odd to verbalize, but I can feel dopamine. Like I can feel, I never used to be able to feel when something, like, it's in the pit of my stomach when something is gratifying me and there's a rush of validation. This is sounds so odd. So if I when I've eaten, I can feel that, not in my stomach, but I can feel the contentedness in my abdominal area. There's some like heaviness. And there is a similar feeling when accomplishing a certain task, or even excessive social media usage, being overly stimulated, or when there is a piece of acne and you manage to extract something. And I think that in certain individuals, for whatever reason, that my brain is wired in that odd manner, or I have trained myself over time in that odd manner to find gratification from something that's so useless and stupid and frankly unproductive. It's probably makes the acne worse, 9 times out of 10. Not every time, but 9 times out of 10. And so anyway, when I participate in that, I can feel this rush of gratification in my chest or abdominal area. And what does this have to do with anything? Well, it's just the fact that it's a massive waste of time. I was going to say, I feel like I've been spending more time recently messing with my acne than other times, maybe. And I think that's due to actually where a person is deriving dopamine from. Like, I think I've taken social media out of my daily routine in a large way, obviously, not completely. Or entertainment, media entertainment, out of my lifestyle for the past however many days in a large way. Obviously, I still have some, and now I'm learning to reintroduce it in a way that I have had success with and not become excessive in the consumption of, by making sure that I'm just looking at it in the phone web browser as opposed to actually downloading the app. However, I think as that source of dopamine has exited my daily routine and lifestyle, I can see this other, so stupid, high dopamine inducing activity, which is messing with my acne. And I think it just goes to show, like, you can't just remove negative stimuli. You need to change your own mindset and baseline. You can't just rely on changing your circumstances in an artificial manner to fix your problems. I think there's certainly something to be said for curating your environment in a way that's beneficial, but just removing all of the negative stimuli isn't necessarily going to give the result that you're looking for, because then other negative inputs in your life go and fill that spot, or you perceive other negative elements in your life go to fix that spot. In the same way that I was working 3 jobs, hotel front desk, hospital, housekeeping, and then obviously the orchard as well. And for a while there, housekeeping was a very negative job for me, not only because of the people that were involved, but it was really the mindset I was going into the work with, but also I was developing maybe some back pain or joint pain, or I don't know, something that had happened. And no, not really. Whatever, housekeeping, I was viewing it at the time as the most laborious job I had, and I found the other jobs to be more pleasurable. And I had in my mind, I knew that once I quit that job, which I did end up quitting due to the fact that the housekeepers really didn't need any help for a couple of months in the winter, and no one had enough hours. However, I knew as soon as I quit that job that one of my other jobs would rise to the same degree of displeasurefulness as the housekeeping job. And sure enough, the job at the hospital became increasingly less enjoyable, and I mentally started to classify it as the unenjoyable job. And it just goes to show you that you can only escape misery by changing your baseline. I was thinking the other day there was something that I thought of that I thought, that's a valid point. Suffering is a state of perception. Misery is a state of being. To escape suffering, you need to change your perception. To escape misery, you need to change who you are. You need to change your being. Now, I'm not sure how that ideology congeals with wanting to seek out suffering. Yeah. All right.